Hello everybody, and of course we will go down to the proper screen there we go. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well. I am doing fine. We have spoilers everywhere. There's been a lot that came out. I didn't cover them yesterday mainly because there was so little of them, and also because Wizards of the Coast announced that they were just kind of taking the day off for a funeral that happened down in Minnesota, as most of you guys know. Hi THRU. Yes, Dez says he's gonna raid me. Well, that is fine. If people raid, then that happens. Teferi is total bull. Anyway, welcome Mezzy, welcome THRU, welcome Maz, welcome Wrathwood, and Duncan Connor. Welcome to the live stream. Usually this time I'm putting up a video for This Week in Magic, but because when spoiler season starts, there is so much more to cover. It's just easier for me and for editing purposes to do it as a live stream. So that's why we're doing that. Pretty much we'll go over the products here, and we will go over all the spoilers that are done so far, give some thoughts on what is going on there. So first out of the gate, we have Core Set 2021 product overview. They have draft boosters. They've actually laid this out a lot nicer than they have in the past, with what's coming in your packs, mainly because core sets are supposed to be the stepping in point for new players. So it is nice for them to show that. They're saying foils, if for those that didn't know, foil rarity was actually increased to 1 out of every 3 packs. It used to be 1 out of every 6, 1 out of every 7. So it is very nice to see. We've got one of the new cards. This is the borders we're going over, and they're saying they are possible as a showcase frame, alternate versions in M21 packs. That is nice to see that they are giving this across the board, that you can get these all in the packs. You do not have to go directly to the collector's boosters, although that is a more surefire way to get these showcase cards. So the border is really neat. The hollow symbol, when we saw some early leaks and stuff like that, this is the hollow symbol was what was throwing a lot of people off. So it is shown that that is confirmed. We've also got the full art for Grim Tutor here, which looks crazy. You got tested for COVID. Nice, THRU. Hopefully you're all good. You want a new showcase island in foil. I want them all in foil. Those cards are going to be highly sought after. They're not going to be like full art lands, but they're going to be highly sought after. The buy a box promo is one thing. I really wish this was in the normal set. I would love to play with this in limited or even in stand. Well, you can play with it in standard, but in a limited play, this might actually be something fun. It's a card that I just absolutely fell in love with the second I saw it. We got Dog Cat. There is an errata going out that all hounds will be dogs going forward once Core 21 is released. So there is that errata. I have seen other things for it, but this as the buy a box promo, the Rin and Siri inseparable. It's absolutely gorgeous. Naya colors, which is exactly my commander deck colors. So it's definitely one I want, and now I really want to play around with my commander deck to see if I can go Dog Cat Tribal. So we got collector boosters. They give you the all shiny Ugin makeover with the collector's boosters, and what's in them. We have one foil showcase of a common, uncommon, rare, or mythic, or borderless, uncommon, rare, or mythic. So there is common showcase. I don't know if we've seen that in the past. I thought they were all uncommon or greater, but I guess there's been a few. One foil showcase, common or uncommon, or borderless uncommon. One non-foil showcase rare mythic or borderless rare mythic, including planeswalkers. 2 non-foil showcase common, uncommon, or borderless uncommon. 2 foil rare or mythic standard frame or extended art frame. Like, these packs are so confusing. Hello, Trees Bitch. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad he sent you. If you're still watching Desolator, make sure you say hi back. And tell him the maple syrup is mine. He's not getting his hands on it. One non-foil extended art, rare or mythic, 1 foil showcase basic land, 2 foil uncommon, 4 foil commons or land non-showcase, and 1 foil common. And then they've just saying what they are there. So it is, these collector boosters are very hard to pin down. If you like the collector's booster, just open them up and go through it. Don't even bother following the contents. Hopefully nothing's missing like the Japanese cards were from the last run of them. There is a new product called Welcome Boosters. These are replacing the Welcome decks. It doesn't say how many cards are in here. I would assume it's 15, but then they're giving you, it looks like, some story card about maybe the Planeswalkers and stuff like that. So they're not really showing what's in the Welcome Boosters, but they're telling you that they have legendaries, Planeswalkers, showcase cards, and more. But apparently the boosters filled slot previously occupied by the Welcome decks. It's the exact same in contents, a little slice of Magic Awesome. So these welcome packs are exactly what they are. Are they going to showcase all the basic lands? Yes, Mezzy, I would presume so. They're gonna, those lands look really good. And the Planeswalker decks did come down. We'll go into that in the spoiler side, but we've got the artwork for them. Garruk, it is nice to see Garruk hitting another core set. Chandra, Lily, Teferi, and our new Basiri, or Basser. That's got to be what it is, right? And then they've got a new starter kit with 2 new cards. These cards aren't in the spoilers as of yet, but they are technically, but they're labeled as Theros cards. They must have been from the ancillary big packs. The Iron Scale Hydra, 2 green, 3 generic, 5/5 Hydra. If it would deal combat damage to Iron Scale Hydra, prevent the damage, and put a 1/1 counter on Iron Scale Hydra. I do remember these from those packs, actually. Demon of Loathing, 2 black and 5 generic, 7/7 Flying Trampled Demon, and it deals, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. Then we have our pre-release packs, which Teferi's all over those packs, and the bundle, which has the alternate art pack leader card, which is one we will go into with the spoilers side of things. And they still come with 20 foil basic lands and 20 basic lands, the alternate art pack leader, and an oversized D20. That's that part. And then we've got where to find the 21 Jumpstart previews. So Jumpstart is also part of this spoiler set, so people are aware. It's just a big list that's here. Let's see if there's anything at the bottom, which there is not. That was the overview. That's that. Oh, it was collecting core set 2021. So this is a little bit more to go into. We've got our new Teferi Master of Time, which we will go over. And Ugin is back, guys. That is a reprint. I don't know what it's going to do to the price, but it was a Planeswalker that I'm not surprised they didn't do that. Like, it's nice to see them reprinting a Planeswalker for once instead of making new, because we need them. We need supply in the community in order for it to continue. But if they just do that, then it's not going to be that great. Then we have this one is very looks more like the Mythic Edition version, so it's very interesting. And then Containment Priest is in here too. There is 4 different arts for the Teferi Master of Time. If you guys haven't seen this, the background for each of them have changed. So it is very interesting to see that on their showcase style. So be on the lookout for those, because they're all different backgrounds. It's a very subtle thing. And I was like, what is going on here when I first saw this article? The Spark Hunter Manticore, that thing is going to be interesting. Protection from Planeswalker on a card is very strange. And then they go over the contents again, and that's that. Anyway, into the spoilers, now that we've gotten that stuff out of the way. This is very basic stuff. Okay, so the first set of cards here were leaks. Not all of it has been confirmed, but from the way things are going, it looks very closely like these are real. You have Massacre Worm, very poor quality photo, but we still have it up here. 3 black, 3 generic. It's a 6/5 worm. When Massacre Worm enters the battlefield, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 until end of turn. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, that player loses 2 life. Massacre Worm with Massacre Girl. This is going to be very interesting. We're going to have a complete Massacre deck. No pun intended. Then we have Demonic Embrace. 2 black and a generic. This is enchanted creature gets +3/+1, has flying, and is a demon in addition to its other types. You may cast Demonic Embrace from your graveyard by paying 3 life, discarding a card, and paying the other costs. So it's still 3 mana, but to bring it back from your graveyard, it's an additional 3 life and discarding a card, which ultimately sounds steep, but if you're putting this on a life linker, it won't be that bad. Bussie's Acolyte, 2 white and 2 generic, Cat Cleric. It's a very interesting art here. This kind of does look like the island a little bit, but we'll see. It's 2/3 Cat Cleric, lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on up to 2 other target creatures you control. Then we have Bassi Ket, 2 white and a generic. This thing is going to be a monster in a Winota deck, in a mono white deck. Mono white is getting a huge upgrade in this set. Like, it's beyond how much of an upgrade they're getting. For 3 loyalty, his +1, he puts a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target creature. It gains indestructible until end of turn. -2, whenever 1 or more non-token creatures attack, this turn create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. Raid! Hello, Vino, Druby, Crepsy. Oh boy, everyone's coming in. And his -6 is you get an emblem at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, and then put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. That is absolutely crazy. Kefnith the Useless, welcome. Hester, welcome. Arcadia, welcome. I'm just going to say welcome to everyone. Invade Canada. Blame Canada. Invade Canada. Oh boy, hello everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Do it now. Maybe we can get over the 1,000 sub mark here sooner than later. Right now, I am sitting at just over 720. It's not going to pop up on the screen because I'm not on that part of my OBS. But yeah, Desolator Shadow banned me. Oh boy, how is everyone doing tonight? Today. I hope you're doing well. This is my weekly This Week in Magic, but because it's spoiler season, all the spoilers come out. Raid Shadow Legends. Sub harder. Hello, Desolator. How's it going? Canada is a hat. Desolator needs gems for Mustache Dog. I saw that Mustache Dog. I probably will be getting that. I don't know. It costs. It costs money, and I don't have the money for it. Take all the Canadian lands, make Canadians pay for it. Oh boy. Desolator needs more puppies. Yes, he does. My puppies are upstairs right now, too. We've got Mangara the Diplomat, 1 white, 3 generic, 2/4, legendary creature, human cleric, lifelink. Whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking and a planeswalker you control, you or a planeswalker you control, draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. This thing is going to be bonkers in a mono white deck. I gotta say that. Holy cow, we got 58 people in here. Welcome. Why Teferi? So many prints. We knew Teferi was coming down the line last year. And so far they've only spoiled 1 of them. My chat is free real estate. Yeah, this card is going to be nuts coming mono white deck. Mono white or even white black Aristocrats deck is going to be nuts because this thing's human too. Bacon's always welcome. Well, of course Bacon's always welcome. Teferi is a bad card. Kill it with fire. Mono white lockdown is the only answer to this. Yep. The Containment Priest that I saw, I was like, well, there goes Winota. Winota is going to be done. Grim Tutor in Standard, yep. Most I've ever had. Barely can keep up. Oh, we're over 60. Yes, this is the most I've ever had here. We got up to 50 once. But welcome, everyone. Please do subscribe to the channel. And hey, if you guys want to donate to the channel, there is links down below. Maybe I can, you know what? Just give me a minute here, because with so many people in here, you know what? We've got so many people in here. Who wants to open a pack of cards? I've been opening Japanese Ikoria packs. And yesterday, I got the dredge bat out of one of them, which is absolutely amazing. Why is why? Because I forgot to change it. That's why. I was playing Minecraft Dungeons last night. I can do that right away. Might as well just put it back to Arena. There we go. Yeah, my room's nicer than your entire house. Yeah, whatever, Desolator. That's not true. Anyway, I've been opening one of these during most live streams, so I will open it now because I know a few of you will probably bounce out. That way you can see it now. Like yesterday, we got that Dirge Bat out of our packs, which was absolutely awesome. Tim Horton is not awesome. It used to be a great place until it got bought out by Burger King. Okay, Japanese packs, they put the rares at the very forefront. So I put them to the back. We're looking for the alternate arts. Ooh, Glimmerbell. That'll be nice. There we go. That pops up there. I'm going to have to copy and paste that down on my other thing. So, Soldier Token, a Plains, and... oh, we found Desolator's favorite otter. Did I update Arena yet? Not on this PC. I did on my laptop. Lutri the otter. Look at that. It's a shame he's not worth anything, but it's a beautiful card in all. The banned otter. Yep, banned right out of the gate. That will be another one to add to the pile, actually, because I do like the otter. I thought that was crazy. There is one more otter. Yes, there is. Okay, so I need to copy this. Go back to here. We're going to paste that. Move that down. There we go. I hope that works. If someone subs, it should pop up now. Okay. Ah, yes, enslaved band. Yeah, why? I otter. A Japanese band otter, yep. I missed Tim Hortons before they got bought out. Well, here's the thing. Tim Hortons had really decent coffee. Then they got bought out by Burger King, and McDonald's actually picked up the coffee brand. So, the coffee's still around. Tim Hortons, not so much. I know they're talking, they're going to go back to basis with the company. Now, we have double vision. We did not need double vision in standard, I can tell you right now. The second I saw this, I'm like, well, we're going to run that alongside 1,000-Year Storm. Why did you not show up? You're there. There it is. There we go. Now they're showing up. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, copy that spell. You choose new targets for the copy, which is absolutely insane for when it comes down to it. For those that'll wonder, I am not monetized because I have not hit the 1,000 sub mark. If you do want to support in any way, you can follow the Streamlabs link. There is, if you look at the listing, there is specialty dollar amounts that you can donate, and they will come up with a special thing instead of just the basic. Then we've got, these are the Planeswalker Dex cards. These ones, I'm glad to see Garruk is back in a standard set. When I saw that spoiled, I was like, oh, cool, Garruk's back. That's really neat. So, we'll start off with the Predatory Worm. 1 green, 3 generic. Double vision plus accumulated knowledge. Ugh. God. Vigilant Worm, 4/4. And it gets +2/+2 as long as you control a Garruk Planeswalker. 4 mana, it's a 4/4 with Vigilant. That used to be great. Now, it's a bonus just to have Garruk on the field with that. You might see that with the current Garruk in Standard, so that's interesting. Then you got Garruk Savage Herald, 2 green and 4. He's a 5 loyalty. Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it in your hand. Otherwise, put it on the bottom of your library. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to another target creature for 2, -2, and in -7 till end of turn, creatures you control gain. You may have this creature assign combat damage as though it weren't blocked. That's kind of nuts to have the Thorn Elemental ability as a thing until end of turn. It's good for a Planeswalker deck. I wouldn't see this thing making waves in Standard. You got Wildwood Patrol, 3, 1 green and 2. It's a 4/2 Centaur Scout with Trample. Very French vanilla creature. Which we got a Planeswalker deck, Ugin. Yeah, that would have been nice, but the problem with Ugin is you have to do lots of artifacts and lots of colorless spells, so it would be very tough to do an Ugin Planeswalker deck in that sense, unless they went devoid of color, which would be very interesting. Gonna make Garruk tribal somehow. That would be fun. Are you still streaming F&M tonight? Yes, I will be, Canuck. This is just the afternoon, which would normally be my This Week in Magic show that I usually do every Friday for those people that are interested in stuff like that. If they want to get caught up on rules changes or anything that happens throughout the week for Magic the Gathering. Yeah, 6 is too expensive. I mean, a 6-drop from Eldraine, amazing. Well, these are the Planeswalker decks, so they are toned down a little bit, so it is very... you do got to see that a little bit. Then we got Garruk's War Steed, a big-ass rhino that he's sitting on the mounted there. It's a 2 green and a 3/3/5 rhino with vigilance. When he enters the battlefield, you may search for Garruk, Savage Herald. It is nice that they put on the actual one. We've had other ones in the past where they just do... where they search for the named Planeswalkers. Those ones have more utility where this one won't. So this one just searches up Garruk. That's been a mainstay in all the Planeswalker decks. You always have a way to search up the Planeswalker. Carol Keep Disciples, 2 red, 2 generic, 4/3 human monk. Whenever you activate a loyalty ability of a Chandra Planeswalker, that's any Chandra Planeswalker, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Interesting. It is possible to do a Chandra Tribal, so this might be something to look at for a Chandra Tribal. It might be pretty decent in that sense for a Planeswalker deck card. And then you got Chandra Flame Catalyst, 2 red and 4 generic for with 5 loyalty. Chandra, I do like the flaming hands on her. Her face is a little wonky, but everything else about the card I don't mind. Chandra Flame Catalyst deals 3 damage to each opponent for 1. -2, you may cast target red instant or sorcery from your graveyard. If that spell would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. Why don't we have this on more cards like Lutri? Or not Lutri, Lurrus. Lurrus should be exiling those cards if they die again. And -8, discard your hand, draw 7 cards. Until end of turn, you may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. Thank God she is a Planeswalker deck and it's 6. But at 8 loyalty, this might actually make its way into Standard in a Chandra Tribal deck. In all honesty, making things free to cast for 6, it's got to be a couple rounds. So late game, this could be something. Ugh. Free casting is no joke, I gotta say that. Then we have Stormcaller, 1 red, 2 generic, 3/2. Ring ring, it's Stormcaller on his phone. He's got the lightning bolts going around him, so I wouldn't be, I'm still thinking lightning bolt might be in the set. We haven't seen it yet. When it enters the battlefield, deals 2 damage to each opponent. 3/2 Ogre Shaman. It would have been nice if this was an Ogre Wizard, just to continue with the Wizard tribalism, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't. And then we got Chandra's Firemaw. 2 red and 3 generic for 2 haste Hellion. It does look a lot like new Lightning Bolt art. It really does on that Stormcaller, doesn't it? But he's only doing 2 damage, not 3. If he was doing 3 damage, it would be another box to be ticked off for Lightning Bolt, but it's not. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library or graveyard for a card named Chandra. This Chandra in particular, reveal it and put it in your hand, shuffle it. 4/2 with haste for 5 isn't too bad in a Planeswalker deck. And then we have Liliana Scourger. 1 black, 2 generic, 3/2 human wizard. Here's the wizard. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, you may put a loyalty counter on a Liliana Planeswalker you control. Wait a second. So for 3 mana, I can have a creature, then I can board wipe and boost my current Liliana in standard right now, and then alter? That seems a little broken. So watch out for that. Lord Raiden will protect me. And then we got Liliana Death Mage. She looks completely pissed right off. 2 black and 4 generic. Why are all of them 6? 4 loyalty Liliana. +1 return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. -3 destroy target creature controller. Loses 2 life. And then -7 target opponent loses 2 life for each creature card in their graveyard. Not overly overwhelming or anything like that. This probably won't do much. Spirit of Malevolence. I can barely speak, apparently. 1 black, 1 generic, 2/1 spirit. When it dies, each opponent loses 1 life. You gain 1 life. Very basic vanilla creature. For this to be only in the Planeswalker deck, that's kind of disappointing. Yeah, that's not broken. All hail Queen Lily. Yeah. Liliana's Scorn, 2 black and 3, destroy target creature, then you get to go search for your Planeswalker. Then we have, in the blue, we have Historian of Zafir, 2 blue, 2 generic, 3/3 human wizard. Whenever it attacks, if you control Teferi, you draw a card. We have one of the new Teferis. He's Teferi's Timeless Voyager, 2 blue and 4 generic, 4 loyalty, +1 draw a card, -3 put target creature on top of its owner's library, and -8 each creature target opponent control phases out until end of turn. They can't phase in. Oh, that's weird. So is there other things that are going to phase things back in? That's going to be very interesting to see. This is the second card that I know of that has phasing, so it's more than just 1 card, it looks like, for phasing, so maybe we see more. It could only be because it's a Planeswalker deck why it has it. Yes, phasing's back, everyone. So you guys know, phasing is pseudo-exile. It doesn't actually exile because anything that was attached to it would actually stay attached to it, but it cannot be targeted, and it cannot affect the board in any way when it is out of turn. And usually, and then they come back during your untap step, they show up. They leave, they show up, and it's always on your untap step in that sense, or if a thing tells it to phase out like this does. Yeah, it has reminder text on here. Treat them and anything attached to them as though they don't exist. So it's kind of a protection. It's going to be very interesting to see the metagame evolve around phasing. We already have Yorion in the game, and phasing with Yorion is going to make things very difficult to deal with anything on your turn. Like right now, if Yorion comes in on your opponent's turn, or not on your own turn, but on the opposite turn, it phases everything out, and then you have nothing to target. So it makes it very difficult to deal with any of it. And suddenly they'll just fade. They will just fad. They going away, and fads will eventually return for, yeah. Enter and leave effects won't trigger. No, they do not. Yeah, it's basically exile, but it's not actually changing the zones. So we've got Mystic Skyfish, 1 blue, 2 generic, 3/1 fish. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, it gains flying until end of turn. Not bad. Teferi's Wavecaster, 2 blue, 3 generic, 3/3 Merfolk Wizard with flash. And when you flash it in, you search up this particular Teferi. And then we have the Basri white cards. We have Adherent of Hope, 1 white, 1 generic, 2/1. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control Basser. It's got to be Basser, right? Planeswalker, put a 1/1 counter on Adherent of Hope. And then the Basser Devoted Paladin, another 6 casted, 2 white, 4 generic. So it looks like 6 is pretty much Planeswalker deck now. What the Planeswalkers are really going to cost. 4 generic, for +1, put a 1/1 counter onto 1 target creature. It gains Vigilance until end of turn. -1, put a whenever a creature attacks this turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. And then -6 creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain Flying until end of turn. Interesting. Sigiled Contender, 1 white, 3 generic, 3/3. As long as it has... Sigil Contender has lifelink as long as it has a 1/1 counter on it. Ugh. And then Basi's Aegis, 2 white and 2 generic. Put 2 1/1 counters on up to 2 target creatures. Then you go search for Basser, right? Okay, now into the real spoilers. Those were just the Planeswalker decks. These are absolutely insane. We've got Ugin right out of there, Azusa, another reprint. Quite some decent reprints we're seeing in this core set. It's going to be very good. Is Basir the new Gideon? Gideon was the new Elspeth. Elspeth was replaced, was the new Ajani. The white Planeswalker gets replaced a lot. Well, white Planeswalkers tend to sacrifice themselves quite a bit because it's part of what seems to be the white thing. They sacrifice things for the greater good. That's why they get replaced quite a bit. Vito, Thorn of the Dust Rose, 1 black, 2 generic, 1/3 legendary creature, Vampire Cleric. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. 2 black and 3 creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. We know Vampire is going to be a tribal in here, so depending on what kind of vampires we get, will make or break this card ultimately. We have Ugin the Spirit Dragon. This is a reprint. 8 mana, 8 generic mana. He's a 7 loyalty Planeswalker. +2, he deals 3 damage to any target. -X, exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less. That's 1 or more colors. And -10, you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, put 7 permanents into the battlefield from your hand. Ugin in standard right now. He's attainable very easily with the green ramp, but we will see how little that actually does affect. I don't think Ugin's going to be that powerful because he is 8. He is a very powerful Planeswalker, and at 8 mana, it's not going to be unreasonable to see him in there. Grim Tutor, 2 black and a generic. This is a mythic tutor. I was kind of surprised to see it was mythic. I thought most tutors were at least like rare, not mythic. So it'll be interesting to see. Thank you, Chris Chan, for subscribing. Search your library for a card, that card into your hand, then shuffle your library, you lose 3 life. This thing is not unheard of. This thing is pretty much a demonic tutor, just 1 more mana with 3 life. It's going to be okay. I don't think ultimately it's going to affect standard that bad because it's not both doing your deck and your sideboard like we did have in Ixalan. Azusa, Lost But Seeking, 1 green, 2 generic, 1/2 human monk, legendary creature. You may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. Well, the green ramp deck just needs card draw now, and we will see where that goes. Fierce Empath, 1 green, 2 generic, 1/1 elf. This is your 1/1 elf of the thing. It would have been nice if it was 1, but we'll see. There'll probably be another one coming down the pipeline. When Fierce Empath enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost 6 or greater. Shuffle it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. This is the green version of a tutor. It's not so bad. Hello, Shannon. How's it going? Someone somewhere. Bovo Fetish. Everyone else that's coming in, welcome back. Hack Sign is the greatest anime ever. It's mandatory for all Canadians to watch. I would rather watch Cowboy Bebop. I hate to say it. I shouldn't say that. I haven't watched much of Hack Sign yet, so. Rune Halo, Kinthant, yep. Thank you, someone somewhere. We got Tormod's Crypt. This is a much needed card with all the graveyard interactions. A 0-casted artifact. You just sacrifice it, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. This thing is going to be excellent right now. This is going to be a 4-of against any Zenith Flare deck, against a Lurrus deck. This is a much needed shutdown card. Right now, in Standard, we needed Tormod's Crypt. Rune Halo, another one that we needed. 2 blue. Rune Halo enters the battlefield, choose a card name. You have protection from the chosen card name. Unfortunately, it doesn't shut down Teferi. Halo is a surprise reprint. Yeah, it kind of is. Liliana, Walker of the Dead. 2 black, 2 generic, 4 loyalty. +1. Each player discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. Well, that's going to be alongside Caraxa, or whatever its name is. 2 blue, 2 white, whatever. Whatever I said. -3. Target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard, and a -7, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put target creature from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. That's kind of a red ability in black to give it the haste. So I'm surprised Liliana did split over as a red-black planeswalker, but this is a core set, so they normally go with monocolor decks are going to be king. So it is quite interesting to see black getting haste again. It's one of those abilities that seems to be creeping into black more and more. Then we've got the Showcase Island. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. I want these in foil I want all of them in foil. But of course, they wouldn't do the smart thing and put these particular ones in the bundle. If they were to put these cards in the bundle, those bundles would be flying off the shelf so fast, they would be reprinting them to oblivion. And that'll never happen. Spark Hunter Masticore for 3 mana. It's a 3/4 rare. It's a Masticore. As additional to casting this spell, you need to discard a card. So maybe this enables some graveyard shenanigans with the discard. It has protection from planeswalkers, which is a very unique ability. So now you've got protection from planeswalkers, and it's only going to be certain ones that can target things or destroy things. So it's very weird in that sense. I more see this as a sideboard card than a main board. For 1, it deals 1 damage to target planeswalker. For 3, it gains indestructible until end of turn. So this is like your planeswalker and your anti-planeswalker card. So when you get like the Nicobolus, Grixis, Planeswalker Super Friends deck, this is going to shut that down. Where was this card during War of the Spark? It's a few sets too late. Teferi's Protege. 1 blue, 2 generic, 2/3 human wizard. For 1 blue, 1 generic, and tap it. Draw a card, discard a card. So the looting for 2 mana, that's alright. There's other ones that'll probably be better because I don't think they have the casting cost. You just tap them for that loot effect. Teferi's Tutelage. This reminds me so much of Sphinx's Tutelage. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, then discard a card for 1 blue and 2 generic. And whenever you draw a card, target opponent mills 2 cards. This is going to make mill a very crazy thing. And to note, mill has now been listed as an evergreen ability. It is an ability that they aren't always going to have a flavor text for. or not, reminder text for. They do on this one because I think this is the first time that they're actually designating putting the top 2 cards of their library into the graveyard as mill. So that is something to take note there going future sets. Then we got Teferi's Aegis Insight, 2 blue and 2, legendary enchantment. If you would draw a card, except for the first one you draw each of your turns, draw 2 cards instead. It is 4 mana. I do not see this doing much. Maybe goes in a Dance of Immense deck. Ultimately for 4 mana to be able to draw a second card each turn. There's other cards for 4 mana that you want on that demand that are going to do better than having an enchantment sitting around doing that. So there might be a trade-off with a cycling type of deck. We will have to see. Then we got the big beastie boy of Teferi Time, Master of Time. 2 blue, 2 generic, 3 loyalty. So there was thought this was going to have 5 loyalty. I am glad to see it 3. You may activate loyalty abilities of Teferi, Master of Time, on any player's turn anytime you could cast an instant. That is unheard of on a Planeswalker. I think it's going to be ridiculous, honestly. This being able to pump your Planeswalker up at any time during the game is not a Planeswalker. This is going to be broken and busted very quickly. I do suspect this thing's going to be over $50 just because it's going to get played anywhere, having that extra little bit that you can pump it on your turn, pump it on your opponent's turn. We had Harkron back in Kaladesh days, and that thing was annoying to deal with, being able to use loyalty on any turn. Now you've got a Planeswalker that's going to boost on any turn is absolutely ridiculous. Busted in multiplayer Commander. Yeah. +1, he has the loot effect of draw a card, discard a card. -3, target creature you don't control phases out. So you wait until your opponent's turn, phase something out. And if you can get them to 10 loyalty, and -10, you take 2 extra turns after this one. That makes it very, very busted. Like, if someone bolts Teferi, he can use his ability to pump him to be able to stop the bolt. Like, I'm not happy to see this type of Planeswalker. It's absolutely out of the range of something that should be 4 mana. This thing should have been 6, just because of being able to activate it whenever. 2 turns, yep. This thing is going to be absolutely nuts. Then there's good old Baneslayer Angel, another huge reprint coming out of the set. I love the artwork of the Angel on here. We got 2 white, 3 generic, 5/5. It has flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from demons, and dragons. This is a solid pickup for the 5 slot in a white deck. This is going to be a crazy card when it comes down to it. Then we got Containment Priest. This is a have to use right now with this card. Containment Priest. For 2 mana, this is going to take Hate Bears to the next level. This is 1 white, 1 generic, 2/2 human cleric with flash. If a non-token creature enters the battlefield and wasn't cast, exile it instead. Winota, shutdown card. Luca, shutdown card. This thing is going to be crazy. Camp the Teferi alt in a single turn. Well, he needs 10 loyalty and he only has 3 to start with. So it would be very difficult for him to get that at 10. And I'm glad it's 3 and not 5. That is something. So he is susceptible, but he's not at the same time. So we'll see. He's going to be played with Time Raveler so hard that they're going to have to emergency ban Time Raveler, because you put down Time Raveler, then you put Teferi Master of Time down. You can never cast anything at an instant, and everything your opponent does at an instant. It's going to be ridiculous. Read the text. He has a passive. Yeah, you may activate loyalty abilities of Teferi on any player's turn at any time, but you still can only activate a loyalty ability once per turn. You can't keep doing it. That is the restrictive on that. Then we got Rin and Seri Inseparable. Naya colors, 1 white, 1 green, 1 red, 1 generic, 4/4 legendary creature, dog, cat. This is your buy a box promo. I really wish this was in the main set just to be able to crack one of these normally. The buy a box promos you only get if you buy a box, and half the time, most of the time here, I can't afford to go out and get a box of Magic cards very often. I got the Ikoria box because it was the same price as normal in the Japanese box, and I didn't get a buy box promo with it because they were already out, and that is something that happens in my city all the time. They are always out of the buy box promos because they never get enough of them. So this is very unfortunate. I'm going to have to try and see if I can trade into one of these, but a lot of people here just don't trade, and it's really frustrating. Anyway, this is a dog cat. My commander deck right now is Naya colors, and this is something that I would definitely want to add in there. Whenever you cast a dog spell, create a 1/1 green cat creature token. Whenever you cast a cat spell, create a 1/1 white dog creature token for 1 white, 1 green, and 1 red, and tap it. Rin Inseparable deals damage to any number deals damage to any target equal to the number of dogs you control. You gain life equal to the number of cats you control. That thing is absolutely crazy. MTG Strategist, welcome. It's been a while. I haven't seen you in a little while. Welcome back to the channel. What is the Bloodborne card next to it? The Peer into the Abyss. For 3 black and 4 generic, sorcery speed, target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half their life. Round up each time. It is that's going to be nuts, especially next to the Teferi's tutelage. You could draw half your deck and mill out your opponent's deck all in one go. Kyrian Dryad, 1 green, 1 generic. It's a 1/1. Whenever you cast a white, blue, black, or red spell, put a 1/1 counter on Kyrian Dryad. And then we have Samir, one black, 1 generic. I don't even know what language this is. Anyway, for 2 mana, you destroy target creature or planeswalker with a converted mana cost 3 or less. I'm thinking that's instant speed. Yes, it is. So instant speed, planeswalker removal, 3 or less. It's the one card you want to use this on. You can't use the instant against it. So, yeah. Time Raveler, you can't use this at instant speed against them. It's going to be ridiculous in that sense. Then we got Indulging Partisan? Plunge, yes, Plunge. That's the actual name. 1 black, 1 white, 1 generic, 1/4 Vampire Noble, flying lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life each turn, or this turn, each opponent loses 3 life. Now we've got Chromatic Orrery for 7 mana. This is your Lantern, but a much bigger Lantern. You may spend mana as though it were of any color. But this adds 5 colorless mana to your mana pool when you tap it. So I'm guessing that 5 means it's any, which is absolutely insane. And then for 5 and tap this, draw a card for each color among permanents you control. So if you're running a 5-color deck, this is something that you can do. Now, first thing I said is, okay, how do I cheat this into play? Because, you know, free casting's a thing right now, heavily a thing in Magic the Gathering. So we'll see where this goes. I don't think there's anything left other than fires for something like this to be able to cheat it in. You may probably have to ramp into this, and then it just creates its own problems at that sense. Godrak, this Crown Scourge. This is a new dragon. 1 red, 2 generic, legendary creature dragon. It's a 5/4 dragon with flying for 3 mana. That's absolutely nuts. Hello, Nerdy White Guy. Welcome from Desolator's stream. He can't attack unless you control 4 or more artifacts. Ultimately, that is not that hard to do. Especially when he, at the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn. That is insane. Charles, welcome. Don't forget to hit the sub button, guys. Then we got a new Diablo, or a Devil, Mayhem Jester, 4 generic 1 red. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, Mayhem Jester deals 1 damage to any target. Oh yes, that's what we needed. Another thing that triggers off sacrificing to do 1 damage. We already have the Mayhem Devil. This is just replacing it. This thing is a 5/5 for 5 mana, so it is a little bit slower. So hopefully that does make a big difference in that sense. Then we've got the pack leader. This is the doggo. I'm just going, I want to view this image and zoom right in on it, because this doggo is the new one that you're going to get with its budget devil. Yeah. Seems cool. 5 is a lot. Yes, it is. Pack leader, 1 white, 1 generic, 2/2 dog. Other dogs you control get +1/+1. Whenever pack leader attacks, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn to dogs you control. That thing is going to be fun to play with. I really want to build a dog deck when it comes to standard. I don't know how much there's going to be 4 dogs in it, but we'll see. It's probably going to be more of a commander thing, but yeah, I absolutely love this. And that artwork is the new version of the pet that they're giving out with the new stuff for Arena. Hey, also good pupper, yep. Nice boy, good boy travel, yep. Primal Might, 1 green, 1, and X. Target creature you control gets +X/+X until end of turn. Then it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. It's sorcery speed. It'll be pretty decent. Nice removal in green. You always need it. The problem I find with green removal, though, is you always need a target in that sense. They are, Charles. That's all. You don't even have to put up that bet. They've already said they're changing all hounds to dogs. Llanowar Visionary. When I saw this spoiler, I was like, oh, that's neat. They made Visionary and Llanowar Elves 1 card. This is a 2/2 for 3. When he enters the battlefield, draw a card, and he taps for 1 green mana. So, yeah, this is the love child of Llanowar Elves, and is it Llanowar... What is the other one? I'm trying to remember. The other elf, the Visionary elf that lets you draw a card. Then we've got Shipwreck Dowser from Magic Puzzle Quest is where this came from, which I believe is a phone app. 2 blue and 3 generic. It's a 3/3 merfolk wizard with prowess. So there's another keyword that has come back. We have prowess, so every time you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. When it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. I can see that next to Lutri. And that is, so far, we'll just refresh that because there is a couple more always. We have a new one, Reign of Revelation, 1 blue. Just notice that hound dog thing. Why? Well, they've always had hound as them. Elvish Visionary, that's what I'm thinking. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, they've always named them hound for some reason and not dogs. How's it going, Crash? Surprised the text didn't also include werewolves and wolves. That would have been interesting, but I think Double Masters were going to see that. That's why. Reign of Revelation. 1 blue, 3 generic, instant, draw 3 cards, then discard a card. Yeah, that's the last thing we needed in blue is another draw enabling at instant speed. We've got, I think we have a draw enable at 1, 2, 3, and 4 at instant speed already. So this is going to replace, I believe, the one from Ravnica. And then Jeskai Elder, I think that's a reprint from Telkir. 1 blue, 1 generic, 1/2, human monk with prowess. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So that is the spoilers thus far. Containment Priest, that's going to be something that's going to spike very quickly. Baneslayer Angel, I've already seen. Things are going to go down. Teferi's going to be a super expensive card. Rune Halo, it's nice to see that come back. I think I actually have a couple of these laying around, so I may have to dig those out. I know I have Crypts laying around. Grim Tutor, Ugin, that's huge. The Planeswalker decks are nothing to sneeze at, but you know, out of the Planeswalker decks, I see the Carol Keeps and the Chandra maybe being the most useful. Just because right now you'll be able to run a Chandra tribal, which will make things very interesting. And then White is getting huge upgrades here. So this is interesting to see. I'll refresh this one more time. It looks like they haven't come up with anything more. So, welcome to the channel. Thanks everyone for coming over from Desolator Stream. It's been amazing to have everyone here. One day we will reach that 1,000 sub mark and I can maybe make $1 or $2 on these videos, but I'm not holding my breath anytime soon. Are Kitnets or whatever they're called coming back based on that Rune Halo art? Possibly. Until we have a creature, it is tough. The Rune Halo is the old school art, so they didn't commission anyone for new art, so it may not be. We haven't seen any other things like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't. We know we've got angels, we know we got demons, we know we got devils. I'm still holding out to see if we have companions show up in here, and if we do, I'm guessing there would be an angel, a devil, and a demon, and maybe a dog or a cat. We will see where that goes, but I'm not holding my breath, but I do think that it is possible. I'm still waiting to hear if we're going to get a lightning bolt, because there's only been, what is it, 3 actual red cards from the set spoiled, so there hasn't been a lot. It's been mostly white and blue so far, and some green. So they're holding out with the red for some reason. We will see what continues with that. I'm guessing they've already done the Secret Lair lightning bolt thing today, so we might not be getting a lightning bolt, because if they were, that would have been the time that they would have announced it. Anyway, guys, I am going to cut the stream here. That way it can stay up, and if people want to see this, for me to go over the spoilers with them again, then they can watch it there. And until tonight, I'll see you guys then. I do live streams almost every night, so do sub to the channel, hit the notification, and pass it along. And I will see you guys